Hey everybody, welcome back to Digital Media Tips provided by EliasRushMedia.com. Photo, video, digital media production. So let me tell you just a quick little refresh. I noticed about 3 or 4 months ago that my friends, a lot of other big influencers, and others have noticed a steep decline in the use of Instagram specifically. Now, I've noticed a while back that Facebook was on the decline, but there's still reasons that I still use Facebook and different reasons I use Instagram. But overall, there is a deep decline in the use of quote unquote meta for a number of reasons. But I wanted to kind of go over the possible reasons real quickly about why this is happening. So I do have a longer video of this available on my website, eliasrushmedia.com/blog, and also on my YouTube channel, Elias Roush on YouTube. All the links are in the description. So on top of noticing that the decline in usage of social media was happening specifically with these two platforms, more recently, I was wondering why this might be. Well, I did come across the Instagram is dead, it just doesn't know it yet article on survivingtomorrow.com, sorry, .org. This is by Jared A. Brock. Never met the guy, but he seems to have some pretty interesting insight about to why this might be. This is a quick rundown about why this might be happening, and I do have some notes on top of it as well. So what he says in this article is their growth is already slowing. I think they haven't reached said around 1 billion daily active users back in June 2018, and they haven't issued an update since. And I think that might have been the pinnacle for Instagram at one point. Um, what has happened for this specific brand, it has always been chasing the other platforms. Instagram originally started off as, photos only, and then eventually transitioned to video, I believe. And ever since then, it's been trying to chase, the Snapchats, the TikToks, even itself on Facebook, kind of competing with its own platform. And so I got to say that since it's been trying to chase these other platforms with regards of, you know, if you are Snapchat, you have photos that are on your profile for 24 hours and then delete. That's what Instagram did and added that feature to Facebook as well. And so people started to kind of hop on that trend and start using Instagram and Facebook as their quote unquote Snapchat. But on top of that, I think that the younger generation, I'd say not just Gen Z, it says Gen Z is not interested, but I'd say under 30 is starting to become more wary of using the um the platform. They are just not as interested in having their face and being exposed to this type of platform for long periods of time. So it's actually shown that it keeps the longevity of Snapchat and it's kept the longevity in the demographic on Twitter. These platforms have kept their viewership and kept their demographic growing. People of just about different ages, all ages, kind of use those platforms. For Twitter, Snapchat's a little bit younger of a demographic. So and kind of continuing on, this is a very interesting article. I'll link it in the description. But Instagram is the Walmart of apps. And for just saying that Instagram is extremely easy to use. It's extremely accessible. It's become very much of the TikTok realm of what they're doing. Everyone can add a filter. Everyone can add an edit. Everyone can add an audio clip that anybody can use. So it's not special when I use the same song or audio clip that this other person has used. Um, on top of that, some people say it's toxic. If you look at how people look at it, the awareness, access, emotional support, anxiety, depression, loneliness, sleep, self-expression, self-identity, body image, there are more or less negative reasons that are approaching um, the Instagram user base. And, anxiety, depression, loneliness, sleep, and maybe body image kind of go within the FOMO, fear of missing out of it all. And so people are using self expression and self identity, emotional support, that type of stuff, awareness, access on other platforms, not so much Instagram, and definitely not Facebook. Facebook and Instagram, the utility of them have lost their value or become too spread thin to the point where it feels like they're not focused on what they originally were trying to do. So number six is its beauty is rapidly diminishing. And so with everyone kind of posting some of the same stuff, it becomes very repetitive in nature, that when you look at, the everyone posting travel pics of doing the same thing, it's not interesting to anybody anymore. And so it's the Instagram aesthetic is very much of the Pinterest, style of it all. Everyone's taking pictures of, a special wall they've decorated, or a special object that they've fixed up. It's becoming very much like Pinterest, not in a bad way, but because of the aesthetic. So it's downright boring. This guy, I think Mr. Brock says, how many pictures of a girl in a canoe can you have that are still interesting? Um, and I kind of agree. For me, it's not so much the canoes of it all, the traveling of it all. I still think that that's kind of interesting here and there. But overall, it's the same filters, same light, same poses, same people, same repetitive nature of the post. It's just not interesting anymore. Mindful millennials are growing up. The people that were originally using Instagram in the first place are ditching Facebook in the same way that they were ditching MySpace. They are kind of moving on, seeing different reasons to use the program. And, Facebook, owned by Meta, and so is Instagram, owned by Meta. They are using different different tactics to get their point across and self-expression of their businesses, and the influencers that are using it as well. They're kind of losing the creativity aspect of it a little bit. And so with saying that, we are growing up, the main user base that was using Instagram, um, and we're a little bit too old to be taking selfies. I think we were too old to be taking selfies 10 years ago, but now we're definitely too old. um it's kind of a run-on joke. If you got a selfie on your profile, it's like, oh, you don't have any friends. um but that's not necessarily the case. But uh overall, we are starting to post very similar things. When I go on my Instagram, I see one of three things usually. My friends that have just become fathers or mothers or parents. They're posting very similar pictures of their kids doing the same thing. And, I love to see what the kids are doing. But I did not go to Instagram or create my Instagram so I could see what everybody else is doing with their children. It's it's maybe that's not I don't represent the whole mass of people, but it's becoming very apparent that that is what is overtaking Facebook. That's what's overtaking Instagram. Um, and it's just not what I was primarily using my Instagram for. I kind of wanted to see interesting, creative aspects of people's lives, see what they were traveling to, see what they were doing, um, if they were having a interesting meal that used to be cool. But since everyone does it, it feels like it's not special anymore. And so, kind of continuing on, younger millennials, yeah, I'd say probably younger millennials are discovering that they don't need social media to be social. A lot of us are enjoying going, you know, to a social event, going to the bar, going to the gym, going to do this, that, and the other activities you do with other people. You don't always need to be on social media, and so it's lessening how much you actually need to be on social media. I remember in college when people were going through big body changes and stuff like that. People were getting in the gym, they would change their name to, or create a whole nother Instagram that would be like Elias Roush Fit or Elias Roush Fitness. And it essentially was becoming an overabundance of, or like a subsection niche of people that were going through, fitness phases and showing their progress. And they would gain a very niche customer base. And I totally understand that. But if there are 10,000 different profiles that say John Smith Fit or blah, 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 blah Smith, sorry, blah, 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 blah Fit or fitness or wellness or workouts or something like that, it feels like there's an overabundance of those individuals in that category. And so it kind of would deter people from coming to look at their page or follow them. And so if everyone's an influencer, nobody's an influencer. Um, they want to better utilize their downtime. This is younger millennials, or I keep saying younger millennials. Millennials um, used to spend around 30 minutes a day on average. The average user, I believe, would be on there. Uh, you know, people are working 9 to 5 jobs. People are, becoming parents. People are watching interesting television shows, movies. The digital landscape of what you can do and spend your time on online has become so abundant. You can go shopping in a million different shops and never jump on social media for it. So the utilization of being on Instagram is not exactly there anymore. They tried to have the Instagram TV for longer form posts. They wanted to be the photo hub. They wanted to be the video hub. They wanted to have the reels, the TikToks. Um, and with them kind of spreading so thin of everything they're doing and offering, they don't seem to be focusing on one of those specific pieces of utilization on their platform, as well as the marketplace as well. I will say that Facebook is doing a better job with kind of cultivating groups of people to hang out that have similar uh, interests and stuff like that. So I enjoy the aspect of meeting new people I wouldn't have normally met or connected with on, Facebook, through the groups, and kind of understanding other people's perspectives in a way. But with saying that, it's definitely lessened its appeal from a business standpoint and a professional standpoint. And I mostly use Facebook now for business because I was, before a couple months ago, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, I was really seeing a decent return of people that were liking and seeing my content on the Facebook and Instagram platforms. And now it feels like a third of that uh, in comparison. So let's just say you'd normally get like uh, 100 likes on something, now getting anywhere from like 10 to 20 likes. So the reach has become a lot less. And now they want to encourage you to pay to have your content seen in front of other eyeballs for possible return of sales. Now, I talk about this in the longer video, but essentially they've become so ad centric in the social media realm. You open up a social media, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok now, any of these platforms, and you'll see the first thing is probably someone you follow, but then you scroll next to the next page or scroll down, and all of you're going to see is an advertisement, and it instantly turns me off. I'm like, oh my Lanta, it drives me nuts. Um, Twitter does this as well. So if you like follow somebody on Twitter, you'll see the first tweet is going to be from one of your followers, but then you go to the next immediate thing, and it is an advertisement. Let me show you real quick. So yeah, you can see right here that this is someone I follow on Twitter, and then the next person right here is someone I don't follow, but it's an advertisement. So this doesn't bother me nearly as much as like the Snapchats or the Instagrams or the Facebooks of it all, because I can just scroll right back down. But it is ridiculous how much the advertising has overcome social media. And so, yeah, we're not spending as much time on there anymore. Uh, Older folks, I'd say people over 50, if you aren't already on Facebook, then you're probably not going to jump on Facebook anytime soon, mostly because those are not how that demographic socializes and connects with newer people. They might have it for a business reason, but other than that, most of the older folks are not signing up. People are losing public trust. There's this shadow banning and everything. Um, it is the abundance of ads that feel like they are tracking you as a user. And quite frankly, millennials and younger folks are just kind of done with it. I think it's just an over an abundance of tracking and kind of uh, hearing and seeing your own uh, products, services, and thoughts kind of being repeated to you and regurgitated to you, the same memes. I'll kind of give a quick demonstration, or I'll give a quick example of when Will Smith and Chris Rock had a pretty big debacle not a couple weeks ago. Everyone and their mother posted a meme about it, and I felt like there was a reaction of about 48 hours of everyone has to get their memes out. Someone has to say something funny. Someone has to put some reels out, some TikToks, some content out about it. But with saying that, it became so abundant that everyone was talking about it that it was a massive whiplash of people were like, okay, I'm done with it. You know, it once everyone is talking about something, it was kind of like the COVID of it all when everyone would have something to say about it, and everyone was talking about it no matter where you were going. That's what was happening. It's just like regardless of what your opinion was, everyone was just done with it. And so that's kind of how I felt with the Will Smith debacle. And within 48 hours of everyone posting, a meme about it, it just wasn't funny anymore. It's like it wasn't relevant anymore. It's just like if it didn't immediately affect you, people were just like done. They just don't want to hear about it anymore. It's like when you go and hear a specific topic and all you hear is an echo chamber of the same thing, it just becomes way too much for the user to handle. So if everyone's an influencer, no one's an influencer. Um, so just to kind of go over that, the overuse of reels and the TikTok effect of Instagram is a big, massive part of why the deterioration of Instagram is happening. Um, TikTok is encroaching on the daily users. I think people are spending more time looking at, TikTok and probably uh, making content for TikTok, mostly because their content is being shown to people that don't normally follow them. So, kind of keep that in mind. The bots and the spam bots that are the comment section of a lot of Instagram is just ridiculous now. It's just overabundance of like people commenting and stuff like that that are clearly not real people, they're bots. And the privacy, like we said, it felt like a lot of social media was spying on us for a little while. And if I was thinking about whiskey, oh my goodness, it'd be advertising whiskey to me immediately. And it was just like that's a lot to handle without even like searching it or eat anything. Yeah, the demographic of users is spread super thin now. The older generations using the Facebooks, the Instagrams, and then as you get younger in demographic, we're using younger you go Snapchat, a little bit. Twitter's probably right in between millennials and boomers as well, and Gen X. Um so continuing on, TikTok is definitely way more of the Gen Z base. And yeah, the getting your content seen by people that don't normally follow you is just almost non-existent for the meta uh platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Instagram's trying to change that a little bit, but I still feel like it's not great. But the reason that people were flooding to TikTok was because of the fluctuation of the um the views. The views, you could have 5 people following you on TikTok, but if you had a good TikTok and it went viral, you get 5,000 views, which would normally in turn to a couple of followers. Um, that was not the case, and doesn't really feel like the case for Instagram nor Facebook. I have like 3,000 friends on Facebook and I get a handful of likes. And I feel like it's because the views are not being shown. I'm only getting a couple hundred views here and there, and then getting a trans translating those into likes is just very difficult on those platforms. And so getting your content seen on Instagram is just not has not been very ideal, especially with the changing of the algorithm, the ever changing of the algorithm. And ever since TikTok has kind of been more prevalent, just about every single platform has tried to cater towards the user to having this TikTok platform user interface. Trying to get, number one is the quick style editing of the audio and the filters. That is available on almost all of the social medias, whether it's TikTok, Snapchat, um, Twitter's kind of getting there as well, and of course Instagram and Facebook. But on top of that, they're trying to offer very similar pieces of utilization of the social media. So yeah, if you want to hear a longer form version of this video, please go to elijahrushmedia.com/blog. The long version will be on there, and you'll be able to kind of hear the extended version of why I think this Instagram is truly not going in the best direction. I think if you look at the majority of people's posts, yeah, it looks like people are just tired of hearing the same trending audio, uh, lack of creativity, and overall, it's a dying breed. And so, let me know what you think about Instagram and its longevity and the utilization of what what is going to become of Facebook, what is going to be Instagram in 5 years, what is on the rise. I think that TikTok is evidently on the rise, but does that mean that it's going to hold position? A lot of people thought that YouTube was going to go down. A lot of people thought Facebook was going to go down for a while, but it might just be coming in waves. It might just be like the the older generation takes longer to adopt to social platforms, and maybe TikTok might become prevalent among the older generation in 5 years, or I guess we'll be slightly older in generation as well if we'll still be using TikTok. And what is the utilization of TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat and Twitter and all these social media platforms? What is the utilization of them in about 5 years? If all of them are trying to chase the same thing, it's not going to be interesting or relevant to have that type of uh, content out there. So I hope this was helpful for kind of explaining maybe why Instagram is kind of on a steep decline, and why we should kind of be on our toes about why we need to see what the next best thing is, and why it is the next best thing, and where to put our content at this moment. Personally, without going into a whole nother video of it, I still think that YouTube is still predominant, and it's extremely flooded. But if you have good original content on YouTube, I think you'll find a niche audience um, to hold for the long run. But yeah, honestly, Instagram does not look good, in my opinion, unless they do something seriously different with their platform, and even changing at a serious rate. I'm not really sure if that's going to save face for it anyway. So let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts about Instagram and its current state. Go to elijahrushmedia.com/blog for the entire section and articles. Sorry, for the entire blog that we have there. Thank you and take it easy.